Rita had worked the graveyard shift for 30 years, but tonight would be different. Her last customer knew things about her life that no stranger ever could. She recognized him the moment he walked through the door, even though she'd never seen his face before. Rita had 12 hours left in a job she'd held for 23 years. The foreclosure notice had been taped to the door that morning, and she was the only one who'd shown up for the final shift. Then the stranger sat down at booth 7, her booth by the window, and smiled like he'd been waiting his whole life for this exact moment.
Coffee black, and whatever's left.
Rita's hands shook as she poured.
We're out of pie since Thursday.
He leaned forward, speaking with strange certainty about a slice she'd hidden in the back corner of the walk-in, wrapped in foil. The pot slipped, coffee spread across the counter in a dark lake. She hadn't told anyone about that pie.
Who are you?
In the red glow of the neon, Rita saw something impossible. He was young, maybe 30, but his eyes looked ancient. He said his name was Thomas, and he'd been coming here every night for 40 years, waiting for her to work this shift alone. The diner suddenly felt smaller. Rita backed toward the kitchen, insisting that wasn't possible. Thomas finished her sentence. March 15th, 1952, the day her grandmother opened this place. He told her she'd been there 3 years old, playing with a stuffed rabbit under that same booth. Rita's throat closed. She'd burned that rabbit when she was 7 and never told anyone why.
How do you know that?
Thomas stood, and Rita noticed for the first time that he cast no reflection in the windows. The clock above the register still read 2:47. Had been reading 2:47 since he walked in. Thomas said he was the reason she was stuck here, the reason this night keeps happening over and over. He'd made a choice 74 years ago, told a woman he loved her when he should have let her go. She died in a car wreck the next morning, and the universe doesn't like broken choices, so it loops until someone fixes what he broke. He gestured to the empty parking lot, the dark highway beyond, and asked when a car had last driven past. Rita tried to remember. She couldn't. Thomas said she was the last anchor, the last person who could have made a different choice, but didn't. Her daughter had called 3 weeks ago, asked her to move to Portland and start over. Rita had said no.
She's better off without me.
Thomas said that's what she tells herself every loop. But the truth is, she's afraid of what happens when she stops hiding. The neon flickered. In the darkness, Rita saw shadows of other versions of this moment, all ending the same way.
What happens to you?
Thomas smiled, and this time it reached his eyes.
I finally get to rest.
She looked at booth 7, at the life she'd been too scared to leave behind. Then she untied her apron and let it fall. The clock ticked forward, 2:48. Rita pulled out her phone. Her daughter's number was still there, waiting.
I'm sorry it took so long.
The diner dissolved behind her like morning fog, and for the first time in 23 years, Rita walked into a tomorrow she hadn't already lived. Sometimes the hardest choice is the one that sets us free. If this story moved you, let me know in the comments below, because some decisions are worth the wait.